everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome one and all to my humble silver pouring bench. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend wherever you may be in this big wide world. Now we hope today to make your weekend that little bit more interesting and exciting, because we are going to be attempting to pour the first ever kilo plus bar of Backyard Bullion hand-poured silver. And I'm not going to lie, for want of a better phrase, I'm bricking it today. Quite nervous about how this is going to go for a number of reasons. Don't know how the bar's going to look when it comes out. Don't know if we're even going to make a kilo, or whether or not we are going to be okay pouring a kilo plus of silver out of this crucible. It is quite a significant size increase from previous iterations of crucibles which I have been using. You can see here the small one on this side, about 2.5 to 3 ounces. This one about 13 to 14 ounces, and this theoretically up to about 44, 45 ounces, but we're only going to be probably putting about 33, 34 ounces in there today, hopefully getting a kilo plus into this mould. And that's the size comparison. This one here is the 100-gram bar mould that we use for the silver foreign bars and the Backyard Bullion bars. So quite a significant size increase, and that's got the nerves up a little bit. But I always think nerves are really important for these kind of things, because without nerves you don't have the respect that's needed for what is essentially 1100 degrees Celsius, 2050 plus degree Fahrenheit, hot working metal, and you need to have the all due care and attention and respect. So we've taken some extra safety precautions today. We've got some fire blankets and a fire extinguisher on the go ready in case we need them. We've got some heavy duty welding gloves here, which are in theory graded up to 1100 degrees, so theoretically they should be very good for protecting. They've got nice long arms as well, and a big heavy duty apron. So safety, safety, safety is critical. Now the furnace is coming up to temperature, and this is the silver shot that we're going to be using. In this box here there's about 1.25 kilos, so it will condense down a little bit, so hopefully it's all going to fit nicely into this mould. We did the maths, and this mould should theoretically hold up to about 1.4 kilos, so we're going to have a little bit of leeway up to the top of the lip of the mould. So lots of things to factor in. Hopefully all is going to go well. For you guys, it'll just be a few seconds when we are ready to get pouring, but for me it's going to be another nerve-wracking half an hour to 45 minutes as the furnace is coming up to temperature, and then we've got to get the silver all molten as well. So I will see you in a little bit, and we will attempt the first kilo plus bar of Backyard Bullion hand-poured silver. Okay, here we go. Mould is nice and hot. Nerves are running high and the silver is molten, so no time like the present. Let's pour us a kilo bar. It came out of the crucible without going everywhere, which is something, and as you can see it is taking its time to cool. And that I am very happy with. Should well be over a kilo. We had 1100 grams in there, and boy oh boy, these gloves are good, by the way, these welder's gloves, very, very good indeed. Right, we're going to turn the furnace off, and we're going to get this just over out of the way so that it doesn't hurt us when we try and flip this huge bar out. Now, one of the good things, and John RMS, I know you'll be watching this, one of the good things about this mould that I got engineered for us is it's got incredibly thick walls. So I know when you poured yours you were a bit worried about the heat of the mould and the potential cracking of the mould. Seems like this one, it's not glowing red like yours was. I don't know whether there's a difference there in the size, but that was a good decision on you to tell me about that. Really happy with the way that looks. Now the question is, how do you get it out of the mould? Because it's heavy. It's over a kilo, and let me tell you, that was you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, that was nerve-wracking. I was worried about that, but actually it went all right. It went all right. I was quite worried about you know, was so heavy that I'd maybe drop it or it would fall over or something like that. But no, it was all good. In fact, but this is going to be well over a kilo, one would hope, because we got nearly everything out. There's only that little bit amount left in there. And you can see there's a load of graphite schmutz on that. A little bit of graphite schmutz came up on that bar as well. Right, let's try and get this out of the mould. I'm not sure of the best way to go about doing this. Let's see how we can, if we can even lift it with these tongs. No, now normally I'd be able to do that, but I don't think that's going to work. So I think the best thing to do is actually just to leave it for a while, leave it to cool, so that I can then flip it out. So we'll meet you back over on the table to share the results once we have got this all out and cooled. After much worry and strife, we've managed to finally get this bar out of the mould, and boy oh boy is it a sight to behold. Here it is for you all to admire, forged from silver out of fire. Thought that was kind of a nice little bit of poetry for you, because I am super excited about this bar. Really chuffed with the way that it's turned out. Look at the layering on the sides. It's filled the mould nicely. There's no air pockets, bubbles or anything silly like that going on. It's just beautiful, pure silver in its finest form in a kilo plus bar. It turned out to be 1,050 grams. Really, really chuffed with the way this has turned out. As I've said throughout the video, I've been properly nervous about pouring this bar, whether or not we could even pour it, whether or not we could do it safely, and of course whether it would look good at the other end. And I think we've achieved all of those goals today. What do you think? Really, really happy with the way this has turned out. We've stamped the leaf on already. This is not the end of this bar's journey though, as it needs to go all the way up to Edinburgh for assay testing and hallmarking, and we've got some very cool special hallmarks in mind for this, and we'll be talking about those and sharing more about those in the near future. So if you want to find out more about that and the end story of this bar, then make sure you subscribe. Now, for those of you who are looking at this thinking that you might like to buy it, unfortunately it is not for sale. It was a commission piece by a very long-standing and supportive community member. A massive thank you to you for once again putting your faith in us as a brand and myself as a pourer to make this piece. It's been a long time coming. I know you've been asking about it for a while, and it seems fitting that we're around the 3rd year anniversary of Backyard Bullion hand poured silver, and we've now culminated with a kilo plus bar. So I'm really, really happy with the way it's turned out, and I hope that you will be too when it does finally make its way to you. Now, stamping wise, as you can see, we've not stamped it yet. We've got a nice clean base on the bottom. We've also got some really nice sides, and I had a fun thought. And of course, this is always going to come down to who commissioned it, their final decision about what they want stamping on it, which is partially why I haven't stamped it. The leaf, that was an obvious one, and it just completes the piece. But I thought that something like this deserves its own name. I thought it would be kind of cool to get some suggestions down in the comment section for our gracious benefactor to consider as to what this bar should be named. I think it deserves it. It really does. From my own emotional point of view, it certainly deserves some kind of further recognition in the form of a name. So, like in Game of Thrones, the great swords are always given names. Let's give this bar a name. Comment down below with your suggestions on what you think we should call the very first kilo plus Backyard Bullion bar. Now, as I said, it will be going up to Edinburgh, and it will be having some hallmarks applied to it, and we will be sharing the results of the final product when it's all done and dusted. As I said, it's not for sale, but if you would like to get hold of a kilo bar at some point in the future, we will be doing more of them, but they will be exclusively made to order. They will be commission pieces only. They will come with some caveats, which we'll talk about in another video. But if you are interested in a kilo plus bar, there is going to be a waiting list, I'm afraid, because we've also got a few other people lined up already. You may well have seen the 4 10-ounce shipwreck silver bars that we've got. Those are next up at some point in the future. And we have also another couple of commissions of kilo bars already. But we will be able to make them, but we have to spread things out with our current situation that we're in terms of our business, and the workflow, the work amount that we've got and the demand that we've got, things will have to take their time. So I hope that makes sense. If you are interested in commissioning a kilo plus bar of silver, then please feel free to get in touch. But it might be a couple of months' time before we get round to actually doing it. So that's where we are with things. I thought the best way to end today's video, what other way can we end today's video, but with a bit of slow motion silver pouring. You can see this bar come to life in glorious slow motion. So thank you all for watching. Enjoy the silver flow, and we'll catch you on the next one.